Thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak with you today about an important initiative that we launched last year called International Gender Champions. The overall objective of the initiative is to unite the leaders here in Geneva, the decision makers, the people of influence, around a common and comprehensive effort to promote gender equality. And I would say that we've had great success in our first year. We currently have 100 gender champions representing every region of the world. I believe we have all the key international organizations represented, as well as many other political and business leaders in this community. We're all very committed, and it's really brought together the leadership here in town around a very, very important initiative.
So why is it important? You know, the world is faced with an enormous amount of really heavy problems that need some very concerted and solutions. We are not going to get there if we leave 50% of humanity behind. We're only going to manage if we all put our shoulder to the wheel, and that means making sure that both women and men are part of the solution. And this is what this is about. We realize that if we continued as we were with business as usual, gender parity and bringing in women into the decision-making process in a meaningful way would take another 100 years or so. So we thought that we'd do something that was meaningful, that was easy to understand, that was easy to measure, and that had an impact.
What was different about our approach was that we thought it was important to really have commitment from the top. And so we asked the leadership here to make personal commitments. They're public. There's peer accountability that comes into play that we found is very powerful. But there's a spirit of cooperation and of really coming together. We put in place one universal commitment called the Panel Parity Pledge. And it's where we all commit to push back against all male panels or panels that don't have gender balance. We all know how important it is to hear diverse viewpoints and to really increase women's representation. So we've all been working hard to have conversations when we're asked to speak on panels or attend conferences about the gender balance. It's really it caused a culture change here in town, where we're already seeing some important improvements in the ratio of men and women on the stage.
Well, it also goes for all women panel, by the way.
Exactly.
So we are really looking for parity, if not parity, certainly to make sure that both genders are represented on any kind of panel or discussion that happens, which will in turn help particularly women to get more visibility and to be part of the conversation and ultimately part of the decision-making process.
And then in addition to the pledge, we've asked each champion to make 2 other individual commitments that are customized for their own organizations based on their priorities, their resources, their interests, and what they thought they could achieve in a year. So with the pledge and these 2 commitments, we're really making a difference here on the ground. I think one of the biggest success stories so far has come with the Panel Parity Pledge, because we're seeing champions intervening daily in their engagement around town. In addition, we've seen a lot of progress with the individual commitments that champions have made, and these span areas of good governance, of work-life balance, leadership and accountability, training programs, making sure that we have better representation from delegations that come to town. So there's really a broad array of efforts that are going on here, and in every area we're seeing great success. In fact, Director General Mueller has put in place a very comprehensive gender policy for his organization. I think it'd be great if you could tell us something about it.
Well, bizarrely enough, we didn't have one, so I decided that one of my pledges should be the establishment of a gender policy for the UN here in Geneva, and I've done that. It went into effect on the 1st of September. It touches on a whole series of issues on how we should deal with gender in our organization. including in terms of recruitment, in terms of hidden biases, in terms of management, in terms of training, etc. And training, for example, was the second commitment, whereby we have introduced in all training materials and all training courses a gender component, and particularly important for me is the one that we have introduced for all newcomers. So induction training has a very heavy component to make sure that our staff, as they start their career in the United Nations, understand the importance of including gender into their considerations and into their daily work life. Just like you are doing in Diplo, I think it's a very important element of really moving the dial forward, considerably on this issue. So now we are moving into the future. We're setting an example elsewhere. We've just, Pamela and I just launched it, a soft launch in New York last week. We're trying to push it in other big cities, Vienna, Nairobi, London, and other places where we have major UN and international presences.
So it's exciting to think about and to actually start seeing this spread to other important multilateral hubs. We're also very focused on making sure that we're firmly grounded here in Geneva. So in the coming year, we're going to be working to strengthen our panel parity pledge commitment, to bring it deeper into the organization, so it doesn't pertain just to the champion, the leadership. We're also going to be asking our champions to help us amplify our message by making speeches or writing articles or producing videos that just help tell our story to the world and the importance of promoting gender equality. And we're going to try to make sure that throughout the whole organization there's increased buy-in. And then, of course, the important data collection component where we really need to capture the impact that we're having so that we can continue to build on it and help shape what direction we go in. So you all know, you've seen the statistics, why this is such an important issue. Despite our very diverse portfolios, this is something that we've decided we need to prioritize, and we've made personal commitments to try to really move the needle through our work here in Geneva.
Thank you very much for listening to us. I hope that we've convinced you of the importance of this issue if you weren't convinced already. In closing, on behalf of myself and Ambassador Hamamoto, let me urge you all to become gender champions and follow us on our website and take some examples of the almost 300 commitments that our gender champions have already committed to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate your efforts.